All right, guys, thanks for checking out another awesome video. We are looking at a buck knife, and this isn't just any normal buck knife. This is the Alaskan Guide Series buck knife. And for those of you that don't know, Buck puts out many different types of knives, and they basically struck up this kind of partnership with Cabela's back, I think, almost 20 years ago, where they make kind of a top tier knife, and they call it the Cabela's Alaskan Guide Series knife. And it's basically the same as, you know, their other knives, and I've done reviews on a lot of their other knives. But as you can see, this one here is Buck model number 192, and it's got solid rosewood handle, and it's got brass bolsters on each side. End cap, that's brass. It's made out of S30V, and it's coated in a black titanium nitride coating, which allows the knife to not rust, and that's basically it. It helps with corrosion and not rusting. And as you can see, this is the Alaskan Guide logo there. And these are only sold at Cabela's, through Cabela's. Now this one I got online. You can buy these online directly from Cabela's. Sometimes you can find them on secondhand stores. Sometimes you can find them at, now they sell them at the Bass Pro Shops, which is the same thing as Cabela's. But this knife here is just a solid built knife. Buck has been making it for years. In fact, it's so well done. There's many replicas of this knife, so you got to be careful of replicas out there. A lot of the replicas, you know, are not the Alaskan Guide version. They'll just have a satin steel, and they will, some of them say Buck on them even. That's how good China's getting. I should pick one up and do a comparison and show you guys what the difference is. But this one here is actually from 2005, I believe. That's what that stamp there indicates. If you Google that, it'll show up as 2005. So this one is in excellent condition considering it's 15 years old, but beautiful knife. These hold up really well. They stay sharp really long. One of the really cool things about Buck knives, and I've said this on a lot of my other videos, is they have one of the best heat treating processes that's out there. So Paul Bose kind of developed their heat treating process, and that's what's still implemented today within their factories. So you really can't go wrong. But just from kind of a general standpoint, this knife feels good in the hand. I mean, it's an old school kind of knife. This is what you might see like your dad or your grandpa or someone use, but I'll tell you what, it's just such a simple design. It's got this hollow grind. You can see right in there. It's a hollow, real thin blade, so it makes it really excellent for skinning, for cutting, for slicing, all those kinds of tasks that you need to do. For hunting, it works really well. But again, it's a heavy duty knife, and I mean, it's gonna stand the test of time. But one of the things that made me want to do this video was I want to show you something that you normally don't think of, and that's the sheath. And funny enough, they labeled it 191, even though this is the model 192. But what I wanted to show you, I think they use it for both knives, but one of the really sweet things about this sheath is the way that it works. And it's a little different. Like, look at how this latches. It's got a button and a latch, and it's got a belt loop, and it's made out of this strong, actual real leather. You know, this isn't like your cheap, crappy leather. The knife, you take it, you just put it in like that, and now watch this, how this goes over. And we take this for granted, okay? But notice when I pull back now, I'm trying to pull it out. You can't pull it out. And there's not much wiggle room. Like, I'm literally, look at my right hand. I'm literally trying to pull that out. This here, you guys, is one of the very best designs for a knife sheath. And Buck does this on several other knives. You'll notice on the 119 special, they have a really nice sheath like this that locks it into place, and a few others. Not every single one of their knives has this type of sheath mechanism. But the reason why this is really important is if when you're hunting, you know, you guys, I mean, we're all doing stuff. We're running around, we're on our four-wheelers, we're maybe on a motorcycle, who knows what you are, and you got this in your pocket, you're climbing up your tree stand, you're in the field, you know, who knows what you're doing. Could be in a truck. The sweet thing about this, the knife is never going to come out of the sheath. And I've had a lot of knives, and I've had a lot of times where the sheath doesn't really fail, but it's not a solid fit. And so with this, I mean, it's locking this this part here, this guard, onto the sheath, so it physically can't come out. And so it's an excellent sheath design. And I wish more companies would utilize something similar, something like it, or just make their sheaths so that they work properly. So if you guys are thinking about a knife that is gonna hold up well, and then the other nice thing, you know, this is the one to get, but the other really nice thing is, look how much of that wood this sheath protects. So not only are you getting an awesome sheath for safety, it also protects the knife quite a bit. I mean, a big, huge wraparound over halfway up the sheath of solid leather, that protects, you know, protects the knife. It makes it stay nice. But everything done here, I mean, look at this. They even put a coating here to, you know, seal in the leather on this side. And there's 3 different sections of leather, and it's stitched really well. These are high quality, really high quality sheaths, and it even says Buck on the button. So again, can't go wrong. This is the Cabela's Alaskan guide. It's a solid, well-built knife that will stand the test of time, and you really won't be disappointed. So check out some of my other videos. I'm gonna put a few links right up there, and I'm gonna, you know, you can take a look at some of the other Alaskan guide series knives I've reviewed. I mean, this is some really good stuff. And take the time, you guys, subscribe to these videos. I literally have tons more I gotta do, and I just trying to make the time to do them with life and everything else. But as you get ready for hunting season and you're in hunting season, take a look at some of the stuff Cabela's has. Now, I'll tell you this, these aren't cheap knives, but in the grand scheme of things, they're some of the best quality knives that you can buy. So a knife like this from Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops, because they're the same, will run you probably $120, $130, somewhere in that range, 120 bucks. But I'll tell you, I mean, think of like a Benchmade or something like that. Those knives are even more. A lot of those are more than that. So, you know, this is an awesome fixed blade knife that I guarantee you will hold up for basically all of time, and it'll do every single thing that you need to do. And oh, by the way, I didn't even mention this. The sharpness on these is out of this world. So these come from the factory. They have this special 2X sharpening system that they use, and they get these like ultra razor sharp. You gotta remember, this one is you know, several years old, but they get these so super sharp. So that's another thing you want to kind of keep in mind when you're buying a knife. If you buy a buck knife, I guarantee you from the factory, it'll be probably sharper than any knife. In fact, sharper than most Benchmades, because for some reason, a lot of the Benchmades they're not real sharp anymore coming out of the factory. They get them pretty sharp, but not as sharp as they should be. The other big thing with buck knives that I can tell you is they have an excellent warranty. So they've been around, you know, what is it, almost 100 years, over 100 years now, making knives. I mean, these guys are some of the best in the business. So if you ever have a problem with a knife, if anything ever goes wrong, they will fix it. They will make it right, and they'll replace it if need be. And I've had to use their service like one or two times, and I sent a knife back in, and they were real quick. They fixed whatever was the issue. In fact, I had one knife that I had got from a friend, and it had a tip broken off, and I offered to pay, you know, for fixing that, and they did it no charge. So I mean, that's a case where, you know, the tip was broken because of poor use from somebody else, and they fixed it. So you can't go wrong with Buck Knives, you guys. They're a great company. They've been around a while, and these Alaskan guide knives are definitely worth it. So thanks for checking out this video. Remember, hit the subscribe button, like, comment. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear what's your favorite Alaskan guide knife. Let me know. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.